Good morning. Welcome to day 6, Saturday, September 30th, Labor Day weekend. We're camped down at Horseshoe Lake, and there's a lake about a quarter-mile away, Lake Zatella. Gonna head up there and then look to do maybe some peak bagging or alpine lake exploring, depending on what the terrain looks like. So looks like this route up to the lake, there's some cairns, but it's pretty straightforward. We're just gonna go up and gain the ridge, getting a better view of Horseshoe Lake behind me. So here we go. It's been a pretty mellow climb, just working our way up this drainage, Horseshoe Lake, getting smaller below. I think we're gonna top out soon. All right, made it to Lake Zatella behind me. Actually, there wasn't a whole lot of effort. We probably should have camped up here, but you never know sometimes. So I think I'm gonna try and work my way up to gain that ridge. We'll see how it looks once I get closer. So there's Horseshoe Lake. You can see some tents. They're near where Sarah and I are. All right, it's 8 o'clock. Steady climb. I'm hoping once we get around this next gully, there'll be a forgiving way up. We'll see. If I can zigzag my way, make that ridge where these trees are, that should put me in pretty good shape. So one of the fun things about this cross-country off-trail stuff is I'm keeping elevation gaining. I got to gain this next feature and then go over to the next one. But you never know. I'm gaining all this elevation. Am I going to be able to cross over? It's like a gully. Will it be cliffed out? You know, I saw a line probably about 300-400 feet down now that I could zigzag my way up, but looking at the topo map, it didn't look too severe. So I'm hoping when I get near the top here, I can find a way across without getting cliffed out, without having to lose all this elevation I worked so hard for. But that's part of the mystery. You never know. No GPX track, just looking at a topo map and figuring things out. So it's a lot of fun. The terrain isn't too bad. It's not like real scree, which is nice. Lots of rocks, lots of slabs. So just looking for the natural breaks in the slabs to like work up some ledges. But overall, it's been pretty nice. I'm just hoping I can keep going up. I'll know soon. Okay, I found the spot. Basically gonna go up this grassy gully and hang a left to continue up. And I'm not necessarily cliffed out. There's a nice little system here. I can work my way down, no problem. It's about 8:30, still making my way up. But as you can see, there is water here, and there's quite a bit of it here, which is always nice, because if there's water, there's a chance there's some wildlife around. So keep my eyes open. Gaining some elevation on Lake Zatella, and then off in the distance here, on the top of that rise, there's a sweet looking campsite. Water's not too far away either. Maybe next time. Okay, getting higher. So I'm pretty sure that body of water is Rubicon Reservoir. That's Rockbound Lake. And then way off in the horizon, you can see the blue past this ridge here. That's Lake Tahoe, part of it. Maybe we'll get a better view of Lake Tahoe when we get a little bit higher. All right, high enough now to get our first views of Highland Lake, completely off trail. Still climbing. Gotta find a way up this next ledge system. Nothing is looking very promising right now, but when I get closer, maybe something will look better. All right, a much better view of Highland Lake from high up, and getting more Lake Tahoe off in the horizon there in the distance. Very blue, very cool. So my problem is getting up here somehow. So I'm still, as I get closer, some more opportunities are starting to show, but not quite sure how I'm gonna get up here yet. So Tamarack Peak, which I climbed a couple days ago, is over there, much closer to Lake Tahoe. And then over this way is Phipps Peak, which is, Sarah and I were at Phipps Pass yesterday. It's either this one or this one, I can't remember. One of them is Phipps Peak, so pretty cool. That's where we're headed. All right, this was a fun one. McConnell Peak, 9,099 feet. A huge blue Lake Tahoe in the distance, and just amazing views in every direction. It's pretty mellow cross-country adventure. The last, I'd say, 200-300 feet to the top was a little more steep, and really got to watch your footing, but a fun little scramble. Of course, going down, just want to get down this first section and I'll feel much better about the return trip. But just take my time. But I'm going to hang out here for a while, enjoy the views. And yeah, great way to start a Saturday, that's for sure. One more look at Lake Tahoe before we go. Oh, there's a huge, I wonder if that's a reservoir over there. That huge body of water in the distance. I'll have to look at the map. But that is the one thing about the Desolation Wilderness. There is no shortage of lakes. There are even a couple unnamed lakes or bodies of water right below here. So yeah, plenty of water in this wilderness and plenty of rocks. All right, the summit's right behind me. It was just up there. So there are a lot of nooks and crannies of rocks around the summit. One thing I was looking for was a summit register, but I gave it a good once over and I did not see one. So not that it's a big deal, but it's always nice to check out the summit register, especially on some of these more remote peaks. See how many people have been up, see how popular something like this is on a yearly basis. So yeah, I was looking forward to checking that out, but I don't see one. It's funny, I was talking to the Yosemite Rangers after our trip on Mount Conness, and they tolerate the ammo cans with the summit register just for search and rescue purposes. So yeah, I don't see one here. I'm going to hang out here for a while, give it another good look and make sure I'm not missing it. Sometimes they're pretty well hidden in like a nook somewhere. So the actual summit is exposed, so you can't really leave it on top of the summit. But yeah, it was a lot of work to get up here, so I'm going to hang for a while. All right, it's about 10 o'clock. I'm going to start heading down. And just for this last section, because it was kind of steep, I did make some cairns. But as I head back down the mountain, I will remove them, just so I know I have a not too sketchy way back down, since there's really no trail up here. All right, I was on top of that. I'm down the sketchiest part. So now back to the lake.
It's just before 10:30 and I'm just relaxing at our campsite. Brian radioed in that he summited a little while ago, and everyone that was camped here last night has left. So it's peaceful.
A little unnamed water source around 8250, not even displayed on the topo map, just like a little blue line for a stream, but plenty of water up here. One last look at Lake Zatella before we head down to Horseshoe Lake. We're on the other side, nice view of Horseshoe Lake. That's where we're camped. Okay, it's a little afternoon. We've packed up at Horseshoe Lake. We're just gonna go a few miles to go to another lake and just cut off some more hiking time for the following day. And it's still early, so at the most, just a couple hours of hiking. Okay, we're just going by the very small McConnell Lake. Was on McConnell Peak this morning, and we're gonna keep going. There's some more lakes coming up where we're gonna look to camp. All right, it's 2 o'clock. We're at Leland Lakes. The lower one is behind us, which is right next to the trail. There's also an upper one that I scouted out for campsites. This is like one of the best shady sites, so we're gonna take this.
That's not right next to the trail.
That's not right next to the trail. We got intel the next lake is crowded. Yeah, so this is good, and this was kind of like a good stopping point anyway. As is the case, especially in these parts, a lot of people set up a base camp and then go day hike to different lakes. So there's a few people here doing that, but as of right now, no one else camped here. But I'm sure that'll change. But we have a nice secluded spot. All right, it's around 3 o'clock. We are set up for the evening. I got a nice little perch out here. I'm going to enjoy yet another beer. And my favorite snack, Dot's Pretzels, with a pretty good view that I'll show you. Okay, so it's about 4 o'clock. Had a nice relaxing snack and a beer above Leland Lake. But I was looking at the topo map, and there's a peak not too far from here called Silver Peak. It's a little over a half mile away. Only not quite as tall as McConnell Peak, but only a couple 100 feet shorter. So I figured, what the heck? Kind of feel like moving, and let's go get another peak that's in kind of off the beaten path. All right, getting high above Leland Lake, continuing to climb, trying to get to Silver Peak. Okay, made it to the ridge line. Getting a look at the other side. And one of these guys is Silver Peak, I think. All right, reaching a high point way off in the distance is the Union Valley Reservoir. That is out there. So Silver Peak is right there. Just a lot of big boulders along this ridge. I'm just kind of not feeling it right now. So I think I'm gonna turn around here. It was great to get up here and check things out, but I'm just not feeling that summit today. I'd rather go relax by the lake, but it was cool to stretch the legs. I wanted to be back to the campsite around 5:30. That's when Sarah likes to eat. So yeah, I'm just gonna slowly make my way back. Pretty cool up here for sure. Okay, making my way down this boulder field from up there. Just taking my time, making sure the rocks aren't going anywhere.